Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to some more Mr. Robot. We're closing in on the finale. It's a big old twisty turny ride we're currently on and I have no idea where it's going. How does one endeavor to make sense of what happened last time? So White Rose and Elliot had a confrontation, just got their ideologies out in each other's faces. They challenged each other on their ways that they have chosen, the paths that they are going on. They both claim to be doing it for the greater good. Like, obviously we saw White Rose and the past that they led and how the tragedy of their past led them down this path, and they're doing it to change the world, to make it a better place, but also a lot of murder. So much murder in order to get to this point. And on the other foot, we've got Elliot, who is angry at society, angry at people, but ultimately he does what he does to protect people who can't protect themselves. You know, it's all very, in a weird way, it's kind of superhero-esque, vigilante-esque, that kind of, you know, morally grey vigilante character versus a villain who truly believes what they're doing is the right thing to do, which makes it compelling. It makes it tasty. And, you know, you just love to watch them go head to head. So that was good. But then it finally happened. The thing that we've been speculating for so long, a machine that seemingly has opened up a pathway to another reality, another dimension, a parallel universe, whatever you want to call it. It's come true, it seems like. We ended seeing another version of Elliot and another version of Tyrell, a few other people existing in a world where F-Corp exists, and Elliot's father is still alive, and what their relationship is, we're not really sure, but they seem to be in a better place. And just this whole idea of there's a reality out there where all the things that were wrong here are better there. Can we get to that place? Then the very final moment was we saw that version of Elliot seemingly meeting the Elliot that we know, and I think upon kind of rewatching the episode, I've kind of settled on, I think our Elliot has transported to this other world, which, you know, I'm not solid on what this all is, if it's a change timeline, if it is indeed just a completely parallel universe, if it's going on in his head. But we also got these little moments of something happening that we didn't get to see. There was someone in Mr. Robot's new fancy shop that we didn't see, broke a phone. There was broken glass and blood in the bin of Angela's apartment. So, you know, there's all these little mysteries. I feel like we're gonna get some kind of like this was happening whilst this was happening kind of thing in this episode, and maybe see something from our Elliot's point of view, something along those lines. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm thinking we're probably going here. And just some explanations, please. This is wild. This is such a crazy thing to do when you've only got 2 episodes to wrap everything up in a satisfying way. So I can't wait to see if they're going to pull that off. But before we jump into the reaction, please remember to hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this episode. All of that good stuff. Subscribe if you want to see other videos, support the channel, help the algorithm. You know the things. Do the things if you want to do the things. Oh, and there's a review of the episode after the reaction if you're interested. You know, if you want my deeper thoughts about what I just watched, it's there. It's there at the end of the video. There's a whole segment for that. But for right now, let's jump into this. Let's see just how deep this rabbit hole's going to go and what it all means. Let's do this, I say, with trepidation.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
Hello, friend.
It really is the end. We're back to this.
Wait, you can hear me again?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Have you been there this whole time?
Oh my god, it's literally
I was so focused on the hack that I guess I thought
just
you were gone.
redoing
But after what
the
you
original.
happened at the
Oh, here we go. So this is the earthquake, which I imagine was him transferring over to this world, like it was the echo of the explosion or something.
Where are we?
Somewhere over the rainbow, Elliot. That's where we are. And apparently the power plant doesn't exist here, which I guess would answer a lot of questions as to why things didn't turn to shit in this world.
There's no way her machine worked, right?
Oh my god, this fourth wall breaking. This fourth wall breaking's all over the place. They know. They know what's happening is ridiculous, and they are gonna wink at the camera so much. Just go with it. Just go with it, everyone. So I'm assuming we're gonna be getting more of Elliot action if it's Rami Malek's twin brother that they're doing for that. Like, you saw he was there. Why start driving forwards? You saw him walking across. I mean, he's not on the zebra crossing, to be fair. I get it, but still. This is very Back to the Future, though. This whole opening, I'm surprised they're not playing Sandman at the minute.
Just finishing up a call. Be out in a jiff.
Tell me you heard that too.
Well, we are absolutely seeing it from a different point of view, so I guess I was right about that. I mean, this is fascinating. Like,
We still on for lunch?
how do you
Okay.
confront this? Like, it's such an interesting version of this kind of story, having all this information that comes into it.
No problem.
My monster is still alive.
But is he a monster in this reality?
Can I ask you a question?
Hey, Elliot. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a while. You look different.
Is it the demeanor, the slightly shady demeanor this version of Elliot has?
I'm looking for Darlene. Do you know where she is?
Who's Darlene?
Her
Ooh.
sister.
You don't have a sister.
Darlene doesn't exist here.
Stop being funny and come over here.
I'm getting creeped out. This whole thing is creeping me out.
You just wait.
I like how just
You're skinny.
untrusting he is of everything right now. How he feels. It's just like me. It's just like me. I don't trust anything that is in front of me right now.
Oh, Darlene.
No Darlene. Very curious. The lack of Darlene. She is the key, they said in a previous episode.
You've always been your own harshest critic. I'm sure you did great.
This doesn't sound like my mom. This sounds like someone who loves their son.
That's so tragic. Oh no, Elliot. Oh, no, don't. Oh God.
Are you all right?
My bedroom. Where is it?
Where it's always been.
So many trophies. Oh my God, that fucking monitor. Jeez. I remember those.
When I broke my arm.
Honey, you've never broken your arm. You've never broken a bone in your entire life.
It's so fascinating seeing this,
I didn't,
like how
Does that mean
to
I was
approach this from an
innocent?
actor's point of view, where you have to now flip-flop everything you know about this character's family and their reaction to them.
Did you ever hurt me? Did Dad?
Your father and I would never, ever hurt you.
I can't decide. Like, it's one, I just, again don't trust anything I'm seeing, but also it makes
Where's all this
his past more tragic, seeing it flipped on its head, where seemingly it could have been good
Is this about
with
your
a
parents?
simple
Tell me
change.
you overstepped.
But then
They've
no
had their
Darlene,
grounds, and if you two think
whatever
you're-
that may mean.
I know. The stress of a wedding can be taxing for a couple.
Wedding. I'm marrying Angela. Is this the world I fought so hard for? A world free of all the pain I went through? Am I actually considering this could be real? No, I won't let myself.
This is just giving me Doctor Who Series 8 vibes, be critical of everything. Sorry, obscure reference maybe for some people, but be critical of everything you see, it could be a trick.
Mr. Alderson. Oh, scared, huh? Well, you should be. After all, as far as you're concerned, I am evil incarnate.
Philip, stop giving me such a hard time.
Oh my
come on,
god.
I'm only joshing him. Besides,
I really did not expect to see him. I don't know why I didn't, but I did not expect it.
He is amazing that way, isn't she? She always has been, I guess. Oh, wait until you see her in her dress.
Okay.
Elliot. You just...
Oh, yes.
Hard relate.
Anyway,
Hard relate.
what
yeah.
do we owe the honor?
You two really can't go a minute without missing each other. So sweet. I remember that feeling, I think.
And that is usually my cue to make everyone a drink.
That won't.
Some tension there, huh? Some tension.
Between us, she didn't always have the best taste in men.
Yeah, I know.
They're just so not used to this, Elliot.
But this is the
Just
start of
straight
something new.
talking. Oh,
You
God.
excited?
I've pictured this fantasy so many times. This is what normal people do when they're happy, right? Surround themselves with people they love. With people that love them.
Trust me, Em.
It's just making me sad. It's just making me sad, all of this.
This one.
We should get going. I don't want to be late.
Elliot's face.
Elliot, it says that you're calling me.
Hello? Emily?
Okay, there we go. That's his confirmation, I guess, that alternate Elliot exists.
Because of your passive-aggressive joke.
Oh, there we go. That's how that happens.
Oh, just a little accident. I've got it.
Yeah, that you should have got a dustpan and brush. Come on now. Come on now.
Everyone's different here. Price, my dad, my mom, me.
Okay, the key still works, I guess. Is Shayla gonna be here? I don't know why I keep hoping for justice for Shayla, but
This guy is definitely not me. And I am definitely not him.
it is a fascinating idea of an alternate version of you, which is like how different could they be from you with small differences in timelines? And would you like them? Would you like that version of yourself? Or here's a graveyard. What's in his graveyard? Pictures?
I need to find out exactly who he is.
Hello? Yeah, is Edgar Wright taking over directing today?
Whose blood is encrypted. He looks like he's fun at parties. Makes a good living. Everything in his life seems perfect.
This is the question. Is there a dark cloud somewhere that is hidden?
Everyone has a monster. Question is, what's his? And there it is. A hidden partition. A drive full of files he doesn't want anyone to see.
Well, if he's the monster in this world, huh?
These are images of me.
Is he writing a comic book about alternative Elliot?
His monster.
This is wild. What does this all mean? I'm gonna have to wait till next week, aren't I? Fucking damn it.
I know this is fucked up. What are you doing in my apartment? Talk. I'm calling the police.
What are you gonna tell
Who
them?
you are or what you want.
What are you gonna tell them?
Stay where you... My name is Elliot Alderson. I was born in Washington Township, New Jersey, September 17th, 1986. Same as you. Look at me, man. You really think I'm making this up?
I mean, seeing is believing, am I right? Like, what? Like, come on now, are you not a tiny bit curious? I mean, it would be terrifying, to be fair.
Hey, you look exactly like...
Uh-huh. This is so nuts that this is happening, and yet I'm just going with it. Like, how have we come here? How have we got to this place? I'm just like, yeah, sure, why not? Let's do this.
Sometimes when I get bored, I create people in my head. You know, someone with a more exciting life. Like a superhero.
See? See?
Except his power would be computers.
I called it. See? Superheroes.
What about the girl with the brown hair? She's just sort of like his partner in crime. An F Society? That's just a dumb name I came up with for a hacker group.
This is like meta on another level. It's almost like the creator of the show meeting himself in a weird kind of way.
Sometimes I fantasize about being him.
Same way he fantasized about being happy.
He's angry. He has no life. He's alone. He's not normal. Oh shit, man. I'm sorry. He's right. I'm not normal. And I never will be. No matter what world I'm in. What is that? Did you hear that? Sounded like you were talking to someone. Shit. You can hear us. There it is again.
He's in your head. Oh my god, when it can't get any weirder, of course it can get weirder.
What are you doing? I don't belong here. It was stupid to think that I did. Wait.
Oh god, they touched. They touched. Oh, that don't look good. Maybe call an ambulance. Maybe call an ambulance. Is he dead? Did he die? Is it because there were two of them that's causing the earthquakes? Who's that? Who's on the phone? Is it Angela? Of course it's Angela. He's gonna be like, I could replace him. The dilemma. God.
Hello?
Seriously, Elliot, I am so lucky to be marrying someone like you.
If you're gonna try and save his life, you're gonna have to be a bit quicker about it.
I lost you.
What?
Okay, just let him bleed out on the floor, I guess. Just let that happen.
No.
You have to finally let yourself be happy. That's all it takes.
This feels like a trick. It feels like a trick.
Elliot?
Please help the guy on the floor. It's
Do you love me?
frustrating. It's so frustrating.
I've always loved you.
Great. Because I love you too. You want to start this new life with me or what?
More than anything.
Please, God. Yeah, he's still alive. Can you... What are you gonna do?
Please. Call an ambulance.
Elliot, I swear to God, don't be the monster.
I can't live.
I know the temptation's real, but come on now, this isn't you.
I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I think you should look away too.
Elliot is the monster. Elliot is the monster in this world.
Please, don't judge me. This was inevitable.
What?
You saw the earthquakes. Both of us can't exist here in this world. I had no other choice.
Disagree. Disagree. Big old disagree. Fucking Jesus Christ. Is this the villain arc now? Are we in the villain arc? What? If this is even real? God damn it. God damn it. I don't know what to make of any of this anymore. Trying to fathom the ending of the episode. trying to make my mind up about it, but then there was a rest of the episode to go through as well. So you know what? I'm just going to rewind my brain, and we're going to go from the top. As predicted, this indeed is an episode that dovetails with the previous episode, sort of showing what our Elliot was up to when he transferred over to this reality, this dimension, this place. No concrete explanation as to what this place is as of yet, other than time's different, power station was never here, and subsequently, you know, the illnesses never came, the father never died, parents didn't die, all of that stuff. Who are the monsters here? Who aren't the monsters? You know, all sorts of questions. Like, obviously, Elliot is exploring this world in a very Back to the Future-esque way, having to confront these other versions of his past and his present. Seemingly, you know, the idea here is that what happens if you had a reality where none of the bad stuff happened to you? And what does that look like? And what do you become when you get tempted in by that? What happens to you? Do you, by the end of the episode, do you become the monster because that temptation is too great? But yeah, the whole thing is just trippy. I don't trust any of it. It's creepy. Like, everything just, even though this is the happy reality, one, it just made me feel sad. It just made me feel sad. The joy that could have been, I guess, or it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain why, like, you should be, like, happy that there's a version of events where Elliot had a seemingly, as we can tell at this point, a good life, but seeing it through the eyes of the Elliot who had a very rough life, it just makes it more sad. Which is interesting. It's a really interesting, different take on that kind of story, because, you know, there's countless alternate timelines, alternate dimension, sci-fi story out there in the world. I don't think I've ever quite seen one where you take someone who had a very hard, tragic backstory that they had to uncover for themselves, and once they uncovered it for themselves, they get thrown into a reality where none of that ever happened, and then they have to confront that. I've never seen that version of this story before, and it's definitely interesting. And again, I said in the reaction, if it's in the edit, madness that this is happening in a show that was very, you know, dare I say, politically tuned in. It felt very grounded within its own world, and talking about very real issues. And now at the very end, we're seemingly jumping into complete science fiction, but I think why it's working for me and why it's not throwing me out, so to speak, why it's not feeling so jarring, is that it feels so related to the character, and somehow I'm buying into it, even though it feels like I shouldn't be. Which is odd. But I think it's that hook of, I've never seen this kind of story told in this way before, which is like, I can't help but be interested to see how they deal with that and how they explore that. And, you know, obviously the twist at the end is, what does that mean? But yeah, there's just the whole opening scenes, seeing him go to the Mr. Robot shop, going into his house for the first time, talking to his mum. There's just this, there's a weird, unsettling feeling going on throughout the whole thing where he can't accept this happiness, this version of events, and I'm kind of there with him. Like, it feels like too good to be true, which I guess is the point. But then at the same time, there are these sort of undercurrents of something not being right, and like something darker underneath the surface, and it's very subtle and hinted at in various different ways. And, you know, one being Price being back as, you know, full on Angela's dad, you know, with Angela's mum, but there's this kind of tension between the two where, it, you know, Price is the nature of we know Price to be is still in there somewhere, but it's masked by this family man, and that's unsettling in its own way. I think it's because we're so or at least I'm so fueled by the knowledge of the versions of these characters that I know, it's hard to separate that from these good versions of these people and what that means. Because it just makes me inherently, much like Elliot, just not trust any of them, which is, you know, it's good filmmaking that it's, again, putting you in Elliot's shoes. The whole idea of meeting a happy version of you and would you like that person? Like the whole, he's definitely not me and I'm definitely not him. I don't know, there's something about that that really was like, hit. Like what would that be like? What? Like that's why I'm hooked into this whole concept as they're doing it, is just because it's asking the interesting questions about this situation, and I'm already so invested in Elliot as a character, I'm willing to go on that journey to see how it unfolds. And then obviously we get to the point where both versions meet. It turns out that this alternate version has these fantasies about being this more exciting version of himself who is a vigilante hacker superhero, which, you know, basically what my observation of the whole thing is. But there's this multiple meta level going in throughout this whole episode. Like Elliot looks directly into camera several times. There's also this element of, it's almost like the creator of the show is embodied in this alternate version of Elliot who is creating our version of Elliot. And you know, it's like these it's like the onion layers, it just gets deeper and deeper. It also gives me vibes, maybe because currently twitch.tv/indiegeekguy, shameless plug, I'm playing Alan Wake 2 at the minute, and it's not exactly the same, but there's this whole thing in that game about writing things and then becoming reality and stuff, and there's an odd parallel where we've got both versions of Elliot who fantasize each other's worlds, and those worlds happen to be real. It makes me wonder that, you know, if White Rose is in this reality, well, we know a version of White Rose is in this reality, we saw them on the TV, but is it the White Rose we saw who killed themselves? Is it just this versions of that, or did White Rose get to go to another reality when that happened, and was it a different one to this one? So many questions. I really have no idea how this is going to conclude itself, honestly. Like, I feel like we're going to see maybe this wedding, I guess? I don't know, because it feels like Angela's just been on the phone and video calls, and like, I don't know if they've actually got the actor to film anything. So I don't know if we're going to see the wedding or not. Like I say, it seems like the insinuation, the idea here is tempting Elliot with his fantasy. And what will he do to indulge that fantasy? Perfectly okay with murdering his alternate self in order to keep a hold of Angela. There is also an emphasis on there being no Darlene in this world. So I expect that's going to get explored more in the next episode. So many questions. I don't know if I'm going to get answers to all of this. Maybe it's just there to be thought about rather than answering them. I don't know. I'm so just... How are they going to wrap this all up in a satisfying way in one episode? It's mad. It's absolutely mad that this is the ending. I don't know. I guess in some ways, if you wanted, the ending could have been before all this happened. I don't know. It depends on how the last episode goes, I guess. And this is like almost like an epilogue. This whole alternate reality that just laser focuses on Elliot and his dreams and what it all means, and him dealing with all of his personal shit and how that's going to be expressed. I don't know. I guess I wait till the last episode and figure that shit out. But as always, I kind of admire the sheer balls of it, just to do something this crazy, but also, like I say, because it's done such a good job of investing me in the character and wanting to see where this is going to go, and just such a smooth transition into this absolute bonkersness that's going on. It doesn't feel like a different show, which it also feels like it should. It still feels like a continuation of the story that I've been watching the entire time. And I wonder very much how people felt about this when it first aired, if they had a resistance to it, if they thought this was, you know, literally jumping the shark or not, if this was just too much for some people, or if they felt like this was always where it was going, or did people reevaluate after a certain amount of time passed and go, no, this actually makes sense? Like, fascinated to know what people thought about this as it was airing when it first went out. It's a doozy, that's to be sure. But yeah, the ending definitely just feels like, I mean, Elliot even said, am I his monster in this world? Am I the monster in this world? And at the moment, it definitely seems like that's the case. It's also interesting to know what Elliot thinks of this place. If he thinks this place has consequences, is it real? What rights does he have here? Like he said at the end here, we couldn't both possibly exist in this world, but he's the intruder here. he's the one trespassing in this reality and seemingly sticking himself in. That ending felt so out of character for Elliot. But I don't know where it's going to go. So I'm going to sort of hold back and be like, okay, let's see where this goes, what this means. You've still got this dangling thing of Elliot's mind palace and Mr. Robot and the third personality and what all that is. Maybe this was the third. I don't fucking know. It's so much. There's so much to do in the last episode to try and put some bows on things that have been planted, and again, fascinated to see how they're going to do it. But well directed, interesting camera work. There's some very, what I'm going to call Edgar Wright moments in the camera work in this episode. Definitely got across the sense of, like I say, the creepiness. The music as well was doing that as well. It did a great job of visually conveying how Elliot was experiencing this reality and like making me uneasy about everything I'm seeing. Should I trust it? Too good to be true. It's like a drug. It's like this world feels like a drug to Elliot, and you know, he's had past with that, he's had previous with that, so again, I guess I just wait. I just have to wait. That's incredibly frustrating. Like, I have to wait and see. But no, I'm hooked. Thank you for watching this one, guys. If you enjoyed it, please press the thumbs up. Helps me know you liked it. Helps to get seen more. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of it. Subscribe if you want to see more stuff. All of the things, links down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. I will catch you on the next one.